So, kind of a big day today. Decided to do the Canyon Rim Trail here in Caprock Canyon. It's about 3 miles long. It takes you through, well, the prairie on one side, and if I could turn you around here, if you can see it or not, over in here is basically the canyon rim, Holmes Canyon. So we're going to skirt that. It's about 3 miles long. Head into what's called the equestrian camp here, part of the park, and see if we can get some more water. If we can, we're going to extend and do another trail, which I'll show you when we get to it, and head home from there. The Holmes Canyon, though, it's really super cool looking. It's just, I mean, this time of the year, last year we came, there wasn't quite as much vegetation, so it was a little stark looking last year. Let's see if I can get a better angle on it there. I mean, I'm just showing you a little tiny bit of it. I'll give you a nice pan in here as well. And I come here a lot when we're here on an unofficial trail, just to kind of sit, do what I call a sit spot. I just take a place and sit for about 20 minutes and just try to close out my mind and just concentrate on all the sounds, and it helps me sleep at night and get rid of all the cobwebs, etc. All right, so we'll go on the trail, and maybe we'll pick up some bison on the way, and or some wildflowers or whatever. So stay behind me. But one of the cool things about this park is the wild bison herd that's here. It's pretty large. I'll see if I can put the exact number down here below. But they are free to roam about 99% of the park, I think, including the campground. It's not in the campground that we're in. It's not uncommon to see, buffalo walking around your rig, eating the grass near your picnic table, rubbing up against your trailer, or whatever. So you got to be mindful if you leave your camp unattended, or even if you don't, just to kind of keep things sort of buttoned up so they don't, destroy things. The other prominent feature that's here is there's a few prairie dog towns. One's around the Canyon Rim Trail, I believe, and the other one is pretty close to the campground. And, within walking distance, you could see all kinds of prairie dog activity throughout the day and into the early evening. And there's even a couple places where they've drilled up underneath the road and the road's collapsed, but this park's kind of left it be what it is. So you have to mind where you're driving and where you're walking, especially at night. Okay, so if we back up here, we started, there you are. So we started in here. This is where we're camped out. And what I did is I followed this route here. This is Canyon Rim Trail. And my plan was to get all the way up to here and then follow this part. This is, I believe, Wild Horse Trail that comes across here. And you take a left here, and this is what we call the horse camping area. So if you were an equestrian nut and wanted to camp and ride your horse, they have special facilities there. Why is it important to me is because I'm going to go all through here. This is about a 3-mile loop, and there's another mile in here. And I'm going to get to here, and hopefully they got water. If they have water, then I was thinking about hiking up through on this road to get to Eagle Point, follow Eagle Point all the way back, and then pass the bathroom back to the campground. If there was no water, I would just hightail it back home on the road. Okay, so that's the plan anyway. So let's see what happens. So at one point when you're on the Canyon Rim Trail, you get access to the west side of the trail and an overview of the western part of the park. Down there is where the horse equestrian area is. I don't know if you can see it. There's a RV over there for some reason. And the little Red River runs through that. And we're gonna be heading down there. So just taking a little break here. There's a nice little stool here I'm sitting on. I'm just having a drink of water, just to give you an idea of kind of what the trail looks like. And we're getting towards the northern part of the Canyon Rim Trail, and there's a nice little overlook here. And as you can see, this is what we're gonna go down this gulch here in a second. It rained here last week, and they had a 5K race here, and I guess it was pretty greasy. And I walked down this yesterday, and it didn't take long for a couple of days for the thing to actually dry back up. It's pretty crunchy now, so it's amazing. It rains here. It can rain a lot, but it doesn't make much of a difference sometimes. I'll have to do some research on this, but all along the trail here, I don't know if I'm getting a good shot of it or not, but there's this type of little bush, and all these flowers are just kind of everywhere. There's only a few bushes that are really a dark purple, but for the most part they're that light dark blue. But all along here, I don't know if you can see it, like I said, but they're everywhere. In some places they're even more dense than here. And you can see the trail's pretty chewed up, mostly from the bison that have walked down here during after the rain, I should say. And it's hardened a little bit, and I'm sure over time it'll go flat again, but still, let's see more of those bushes. Okay, off we go. Okay, I had to just do this. I know this is kind of weird, I guess, but these guys are fascinating. These are dung beetles, and I guess there are types of dung beetles all over the country. But you can see two guys here working on they're rolling up a ball. And what they do is they make it pretty round, and usually it's just one, so I wonder if there's like a worker and a driver. Anyway, and then they'll roll it back to their, I don't know, den or cavern or whatever, and it'll go for the kids. But basically, this is what they eat too. So, and you see a guy's just working on placing it a little bit better, packing it in there. Pretty kind of cool. One dung beetle, I don't like that part, he says. I'm digging that out and making that flatter again. But they'll keep rolling it and rolling it to make it round. And I'll see if I can get a couple that are rolling it later. But you can see the little pile of buffalo poop that they're working on. The other thing is you start to see this more and more is on the trails, and we'll see it a whole lot more when we're down in the canyon, is layers of gypsum that are here. They're pretty cool crystals. You're not supposed to pick them up, take them home, but you can look at them. And they're almost, it's like they break up kind of like fine glass, like shards of glass, but they're not necessarily in the glass family, like where they would cut you, I don't think. Though I'd never walk down here barefoot. So it's not uncommon to find one of these things. I call it a sort of a gypsum bubble. Sometimes pop up in the middle of the trail. You see like there's a layer of gypsum there that's collapsed and is hollow underneath. So right now I'm at the intersection of, that's Canyon Rim Trail, and this is the Wild Horse Trail here. That section goes east And obviously that section goes west. Can you see it? I can barely see because it's so cloudy out and my eyes suck. So there's about 2 or 3 bison up there. We're not going to bother them. We're just going to head the other way towards the horse camp, see if there's any water. Looks like this gets used quite a bit more than the other trail, and for good reason. That's why they call it Wild Horse Trail. Okay, another intersection. We're at Lower Canyon Trail, Mesa Trail, and Country Road, and Wild Horse. And then that's where Mesa Trail, I think, keeps going, or that might be just a wild animal trail there. Actually, it's not, but I can't remember if that's called Mesa Trail. I'll have to look at the map. I'll put it down below. But we're going to head that way. And I can tell you right now, if they don't have water at the horse camp, we're probably going to cut the day short. It's about 92 degrees out right now. So there's that. And we'll see what happens. We're in the horse camp right now. I don't know if you can see in the background there. There's a horse and a trailer, and people are camping out. You can probably hear the generator running in the background. So I was kind of taking a look at things. So the water's good down here. It's cold, tastes great. So I refilled. I was about 80% gone on the water. So the way I thought I would do is, instead of taking the road back, I'm going to go in the opposite direction, hump up the road a little bit, and take Eagle's Nest Trail back, I think it's called, Eagle Point maybe, and add on a couple of more miles and show you what that trail's like. So stand by. So I'm taking the main road through the campground. I just left the equestrian area, and instead of taking a left back to the campground, Honey Flats is where we're parked. I actually took a right. Following this road, topographically, it looks like at one point it'll dip down into an old stream bed or riverbed, and then it goes back up again. So normally, I guess I should follow it and then pick up, I think it's Eagle Point Trail, where it comes up to the road. But I'm not normal. Dickered. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I can grab the wash or the riverbed where the road dips down and follow it until I can pick up the trail that way. And we'll just see if I can get to the riverbed, and if I can stay and navigate on it, it'll work out. And making sure there hasn't been any rain north of here, etc., because you don't want to get in that situation where you're in a wash and you get a flash flood. So we'll see what happens. Okay, let's see if I can explain this. So this is where the road goes down. If you can see it over there in your picture where it comes back up. So it's going to go down and across this river. And my theory was to go down, grab the riverbed, and follow it. I don't know if you can see that way down there. Way off in the distance there. That is one that I'm going to have to follow, and not that one. So there's 2 separate ones there. So I may or may not. Let's see if we can take a look at, surveil the situation here. See if we can see any trails or anything down there. This thing it doesn't focus for crap right now. I don't know what's going on. Let's see if I can do it this way. So you can see that behind me there's a road. So basically I hopped off the road, and I'm gonna head down there and I'm gonna give it to that fork down there. We'll see where it goes, and if it doesn't work off the back, at that point I'll probably just elect to walk back on the road. But I think if it stays, the stream bed stays that way, and it doesn't get too muddy and I can get down it, I think I'll be good. Well, I ran into a little mud back at the beginning, and if I run into more of that, I'll have to negotiate it a little bit differently, because this stuff, that red stuff, like mostly clay, and it's like goose grease when it's wet. But we'll see. We'll get down here to the fork. We'll make the major decision here, see how it looks. Because one of the things I'm concerned about is what happens when, you know, you get a fork in the road here. Now the stream's going to get bigger or smaller, you know, individually when I go left or right. If it gets much smaller, whenever there is water, it's either going to be deeper and harder to negotiate. So we'll see what happens. Right now it's pretty cool though. Nice to be able to get down here and see stuff you don't normally see. Okay, so here's the fork in the road, believe it or not. So there's the trail to the left, or I should say the wash, stream bed, if you will. Here's the one to the right, and here's where I came from. So you can see, you know, this was pretty big, and now you're splitting the difference in terms of size. The theory would be, perhaps, that as you go farther down either one of these, it would get bigger. Though, I'm not taking that one. I'm taking this one. So we'll give it another quarter mile or so. Now the other disadvantage to this is they're a bit windy. So even though you're not going to deal with the up and down, your overall distance is going to be, you know, considerably longer. Because none of these things just go straight. So, you know, but I have this problem with people, so I don't like to be where other people are, and this is very tempting to do. And I'm probably going to have to put a disclaimer in here that, you know, you shouldn't do this. And they tell you to stay on the trails, and, you know, but my gosh. It's just so pretty down here. It's so hard to not do it. And I got to be careful of the sun too. I got to pull over and put some sunscreen on here in a little bit. So this is the kind of thing you really got to be careful with. Even though that thing's down there about a foot, it's still pretty greasy all the way around. So if there's any way I can get around this, way around it, the farther the better. Well, I think I've gotten it. I'm getting close. If I'm following the map correctly, the problem is with a park map, it's not necessarily accurate. But topographically, it seems to be so far. And not too long, I should have a trail coming up to me pretty soon, at least somewhat near me. We'll see. Okay, this is kind of for Greg Steve and his daughter. I found this in the canyon, this boulder, and there's just no way these aren't fossils. Look at these things. There's just like small shells in here everywhere. You know, it'd be nice to find a snail, but you get the idea. Really cool. Just the whole stone is just loaded with them. Neat. Very cool. Okay, kids, this is just proof that sometimes TV is, they say it's fiction, but it's real. Told ya, Mr. Miyagi does exist. Look at that. Huh. All the way out here. Thanks, Mr. Miyagi. Anyway, look at the layers. God, Lord, they're huge. All right, press on. Greasy spots. Yeah. You take the chance of running into this stuff. You never know if it could totally block your way or not. The good news is I do see a lot of animal tracks, so I'm fairly certain that there's a reasonably good chance that you can get out of this at some point. Oh, I'm taking a little break. I found a little shade on the inside of this corner of the stream bed. It's pretty hot. I got plenty of water though. So I'm just taking my time. The tricky part of it now seems to be it's pretty rocky. I mean, I don't know if this you're gonna be able to figure out how rocky it is by me just showing it to you on the dumb camera, but and what's not rocky is really muddy, and what's muddy is really slippery. So you pretty much have to be careful not to put, you know, I don't want to roll an ankle down here and then, you know, sit off the ELT to have somebody find me or whatever. But it's kind of cool. There's actually, this is a really great spot to sit, and I'll show you why. Let's see if we can get you over here. All right, so I mean, some of these rock formations are pretty cool. Now, there's layers of gypsum and clay precariously balanced everywhere, and then you got like sheer walls of this stuff, and you can see the layers of it. It's just really cool. And here we are. This is our path. This is our trail. So it's kind of tough going, but you take your time. It all works out. And I think I'm getting close to the end of the trail here. It gets a little bit narrow at times. Very cool rock formation, so we'll see where this goes. I'm hoping for a intercept here shortly. There's a mud though. You step in that stuff, boy, it's pretty squeaky. I mean, it's pretty greasy. Most of this though is pretty good. Okay, maybe not yet. Yep. I think we're here. Oh. And it's good too because, yeah, just in the nick of time. Easy does it. Whoa. How you doing? I guess I'll back up and let you through. How you doing? Have a good day. So now he's going where I need to go. Well, maybe I'll just follow him. Hopefully he doesn't stop anywhere. That was interesting. Hope I got that on tape. Right. So me and Bob are heading back. I'll try to keep like a school bus and then some length from them. We'll see what happens. Well, there's the Eagle Point Trail. I got in. There's the wash down there. The buffalo up there. And there's one right there taking a little bit of a sand bath. So I'm taking a break by the trail while he does his thing. You can see him or not. You can see him. Maybe I can get a little taller view of him. Yeah. So we'll see what happens. So I'm gonna hang around here to get a drink of water. It's not too sunny here, so let him do his thing. Do the dust bath thing, I guess. I'm not quite sure what he's doing now, though. But that's the trail I gotta go on. And does it make any difference if I gotta watch or not? If he wants to clean his balls, I guess I gotta wait. Oh, and the balls are clean. All right, on we go. Oh, wait, another delay. Traffic delay here at Eagle Point Drive. Looks like traffic's backed up to about the thoroughfare. Well, so here I am. I need him to get off the trail just a little bit further before I go behind him. I don't think anything had happened, but hey man, I don't need to be anywhere special right away. You know what? The scenery is just not that bad. Okay, I'm going to get this on camera, hopefully. In the event something happens to me. And maybe people will learn from it. Go slow here. Just go slow. Talk to them all the time, you know, just say, I'm right behind you. It's okay. Not doing anything. Just going to go down here and cross the stream. Not going to make any sudden movements here. Okay? Just going to go down here. You do what you got to do. And I'll pass you. Alright, thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah. Getting a little windy now, so apologize for any excess noise. So this was Eagle Point Trail. We're finishing up the last leg. Been a long day, just about out of water, so I kind of timed it just right. Technically I probably could add a little more, but fortunately nature was working with me today, and it was partly cloudy. Now that I said that, the sun's out. The other thing is, behind me I saw some lightning bolts, and so it's all about the timing. All right, so we're gonna see if we can get a few more trails before we leave, and we'll show you some of those. This is uphill, mind you. I mean, you can't hear me out of breath, but my lord. You push it, dude. And backwards. My God. Oh, Jesus. Just like government work. 3 steps forward, 12 steps back. And then he's got a buddy up here. Where's his buddy? His buddy's a little ahead of him here. Yeah, maybe that's the key, smaller ball. I don't know. He's not having any easier job. Why would you do this uphill, dudes? Anyway. You know, you think your life sucks? Well, think again.